Hello and welcome to another episode of This Week in the Tech News, where something terrible has happened to my hair. Now today there's going to be a lot of weirdly memory related news, but it's all pretty exciting, believe me. And the first story has absolutely nothing to do with memory. Rumors have it that Microsoft is actually planning on buying EA, which I don't really know how I feel about that, because is that going to make EA more or less evil? Like, I don't really know what kind of effect it's going to have on them. There's also a rumor going around that they might be planning to buy PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Again, no idea how I feel about that. And then there's a kind of very unlikely rumor that they might end up buying Valve, but I think that's almost definitely not going to happen because Valve probably has more money than Microsoft at this point, because, you know, rake in all of that summer sales cash dollar. Anyway, another Microsoft related story is that Microsoft is actually bringing out an update to Windows which is reversing an Intel patch that dealt with Meltdown, which was really buggy, so they decided no, they're just going to scrap that and they'll deal with it later. And apparently Intel is going to bring out CPUs in 2018 that aren't going to be vulnerable at all to the Spectre and Meltdown vulnerabilities. So that's quite exciting. You're going to have to buy a whole new CPU for you to not have huge performance related issues, supposedly. Now, moving on to the promised memory stories. Now, first of all, GDDR6 is actually starting to be mass produced, which is great news because it means that Volta might just be on the horizon. They're actually getting high enough quantities ready to be able to just kind of like release a major GPU that has them in with. And Samsung has also been talking about their GDDR6. Square Hynix was the one I was talking about earlier. I don't think I mentioned that. Yeah, so it seems as though GDDR6 is about to get its big reveal, which is amazing. One of the things that this might mean is that we might see a new Titan, kind of gaming Titan, so a GTX Titan, be unveiled at GTC. I still think that Volta being kind of announced at GTC, which is happening in kind of end of March, around there, is quite unlikely, but a new Volta-based gaming Titan might actually happen, which is quite exciting with this. And continuing on the memory-related theme, Samsung has been releasing a bunch of SSDs this week. First off, they released an 860 Pro, there might have been an Evo drive as well, I can't quite remember, which is a new line of SATA SSDs, which I think is a bit pointless to release new SATA SSDs at this point because, well, you can't really make them go any faster because of SATA. But that's not the exciting one. The really exciting one is they've released their competitor to Intel's 3D X-Point memory. So it's like a super high-end, high-endurance SSD, NVMe-based SSD. So this one is called a Z SSD, apparently, which is based on NVMe, and it's an 800 gig PCI Express SSD, which is really, really fast, and it's going to be great. Now the thing is, it uses ZNAND, which is the new version of VNAND, so it's like the replacement of VNAND, and I know that it's better than Intel's technology because it has a Z in the name as opposed to an X, so it has to be at least twice as good. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yes, thank you, and until next week, bye-bye.